Welcome, guys, to an episode of Survival Map Building. In this episode, I'm planning on getting the walls and possibly the ceiling done for this area of the underground cave section that we'll be working on. But before that, I'm actually going to outline everything that's going to be in the survival map. Well, not everything, but everything that's being worked on at the moment, so that in future episodes you guys will know what I'm talking about. But when we first start out the adventure map, or the survival/adventure map, this is going to be the entrance. Actually, no. It's over here, I think. I don't know. I can't even remember my own adventure map, or survival map, because it's so big. Yeah, there it is. But this is the entrance, basically, and all of this that's done right now is actually going to be a cave. So there's going to be a lot of cool things in there. Mostly it's just going to be a lot of stuff to look at, but it's going to be, like I said, a lot of stuff to look at. So there'll be docks and pathways and secret chambers and stuff underground. And then once you get to the part where you actually go above ground, there's going to be a ton more stuff up there. That's where there's not going to be a lot of docks and stuff, but there's going to be actual buildings and whatnot for different purposes. Underground, there's not really going to be, there's basically just going to be docks, maybe some fish shacks and whatnot, but there's not really going to be a bunch of different buildings for different purposes. And then over here is going to be the rich section of the underground cave area, because there's going to be an actual opening in the cave. So if you guys can picture this, in about the middle of this area, there's going to be an opening in the big cave around it, and then there's going to be a spiral staircase going up to the outside. So basically the people that are closest to the way up to the actual civilization, this will be the richest area. So there'll be big docks, maybe even some little houses and stuff in here, just little cabins if they don't want to go all the way up top. There's going to be automatic docking stations and stuff, so that's going to be pretty cool. And if I didn't mention before, this map is all based off of sort of medieval Forgotten Ruins type stuff. And then if we go Warp P, which is the section we're going to be working on today, it's actually Warp P. It just stands for the poor section because it's really far away from the entrance area. So right now we're actually going to have I have World Edit, and I have a few of these tools chained on World Edit. So we have the Sphere tool, we have the Sphere Air tool, and then we have the Smoothing tool. So we'll just have to undo that really quickly. Actually, I guess we don't really need to undo the spheres, but so basically we're going to have to line all of this with the spheres, and then it's going to be indented. We're going to have to do a really nice ceiling, so it's going to take a really long time, which is why I'm also expecting these episodes to be further apart than normal episodes, which normal episodes sadly are actually pretty far apart, but part of that's because I've actually been working on this for quite a while now. So we're basically just going to line the walls like this, and then I think right here maybe it's actually going to start going inward a bit more, so that we can have a natural sort of looking curve to the wall. And then up here there's actually going to be stuff like this built in, so that then we can get a really nice curved ceiling going here. I don't know, I think that would be pretty cool. So if you guys can get the vision, it's basically like this, and then it's just going to curve up, come all the way over. And then there's also, it's not just going to be the same default basic shape of the entire ceiling. There's going to be a lot of indents and stuff in the walls. So different little sections and stuff that, shouldn't really be there. Or not really shouldn't be there, but it's just going to look like a natural cave, really, that the people have used for themselves. And then I also want to have a bunch of little structures and stuff, supports going up the walls and stuff, just so that it looks like it's a natural cave, but then they've actually reinforced it or something, which I think would look pretty cool. So yeah, I'll get a lot of this stuff going. Maybe I'll even do one whole section of the wall and then come back and then show you guys what it looks like. I really don't think we're going to be able to do the ceiling in this episode. We'll probably just do that in between episodes or something, which is why it's going to take a really long time in between episodes, just because of all the work involved. So yeah, I'll be back. Okay guys, so this is one section of the wall that I think's pretty good. Didn't do this, I forgot that. But I'm slowly mastering the use of the smoothing tool. So like in here, that's kind of rough right there actually. But I don't know how to smooth like the flat walls without like gouging the upper portion. Like this still kind of looks somewhat like circles, I guess, which obviously, like, making it out of giant spheres here, it's going to be kind of hard to make it look natural, but this is awesome looking in my opinion. It didn't even take that long either, so we may be, like, ahead of schedule, but I just really like how completely random looking it looks. Like, it basically just looks like a haphazard area of stone, which is basically my vision for the cave. Which is going to be pretty awesome because it should actually be pretty easy if it's basically like this. Like, yeah, I'm slowly getting better at using the smooth tool. It is pretty difficult to know where to click, how much to click to like get it to smooth out. But this is the kind of the thing that I was talking with the random areas going off. Like I was thinking in this area I might just make like a small cave with like a pond in it or something, just because I can, and it would look like really cool. So then we'll just see. I don't know how to smooth in this, but hopefully you guys can see. Actually, I'll just light it up with some lava. That was literally like the first thing I could see to light it up with. But anyway, yeah, like makes random caves like this. I want this build to basically have a ton of detail, so like, even if most people wouldn't even go into these caves, if they do, they'll just be amazed because every little detail has been thought of before, just like to make it so that even if they do like choose to go into add the extra caves they don't really need to go into, it'll look awesome in there. That's basically what I wanted this map to be like, just pure awesomeness. Yeah, that's exactly. But no, just giving a lot of extra thought and detail. The one thing about World Edit that's annoying is it leaves these like random gaps everywhere. So you have to be careful with that, I've noticed, because for example, when you place the spheres, if you place it like this, it actually does leave a bunch of like random gaps like in the middle. So then if you use the smooth tool on it, it tends to like, I don't know, it like smooths it, but then it just leaves like these giant gaps and holes in the like the area, and I don't know, it's kind of displeasing. So also one more thing, I don't know if I want to actually just build all the structures on this, because this is actually a pretty hideous thing to build on. Or we could just build like a little wooden thing all along this once it's done, which I think is what I'm more leaning to. But also, I think I might want to build this up just a bit so we have more of a sheer cliff type thing going. So then we can smooth it like that, and that's actually pretty satisfying. It's more sheer, I guess. You just have to keep building it up anyway. So yeah, that's what it's gonna look like. So I'm gonna do another like few sections of the wall maybe, and then I'll be back. Okay guys, so I did more of the wall. I'm very pleased with what it's looking like currently. It's just more of the randomness, which is, I don't know, lately I've been finding that in Minecraft, like, randomness actually counts for a lot of the building that you do. So if you're, for example, if you're wanting to build like some fallen ruins or something of a castle, you just randomly put blocks everywhere, and it just turns out looking amazing, like in my hardcore, with the XP spawner, it just turned out looking pretty good. Just because I put blocks randomly, it just ended up looking like it was, I don't know, falling down or something. So this is basically what we're doing here. This part, for some reason, was probably 4 or 5 times harder than this part. I don't know if it was because it was like on the side of the wall, and I had to like blend it diagonally with this bit. But yeah, that part's basically done. Obviously, we have to do the ceiling still, and we have to more naturally blend this stuff under here. The one thing I don't like with this is, since the one good thing and the bad thing I like about the brush is that if you point at water, if you point at water, that actually counts it as a block, so it'll place it right there. So you can't actually do any detailing work underwater with the brush because it'll just count the water in. So it'll basically just place a block right on front of you. So boom, and there we're surrounded by a block, which is kind of annoying. But yeah, I'm sure there's like some random tool I don't even know about that I can just effectively use for that. And instead of water, I was thinking I might do something like this in the cave. Just, I don't know. It's still really like square, but I don't know. It's looking pretty cool. And also, I'm getting really good at the smooth tool. Also, one of the things I forgot to mention earlier is that this centerpiece is actually going to have like a pillar to hold up the ceiling. It's going to be natural looking, but then it's also going to have like wood struts on it, like I was talking about earlier, that's like more or less supporting it from falling down, so that's going to look cool. And I'm not sure what this looks like. This actually looks pretty cool from afar, but I think one of the things I need to add to it would either be some like glowstone. Obviously there'll be some glowstone in this. Actually, I don't know. I might just leave it mostly dark and then have like some like torches or something, because glowstone would look more in place with a CTM map in my opinion. But we need to put some vines on this. I think that would make it look really nice. And then if that doesn't work, we'll just put like some grass and stuff on it. I don't really know. So just randomly placing vines, again, random. The problem is there's not really, since the wall slopes upwards, there's not really any like large overhang areas. But over time these will all grow out, obviously. And then we can see what it'll look like. Although on the ceiling there will be more overhang areas, because it is the ceiling, so that'll let us place a lot more of these hanging down. So yeah, just imagine all of that grown out, and then I don't know. I feel like it needs more like color in it, but it is a cave and it will be dark and then like partially lit up by torches, so I think that'll look fine. Yeah, I'm really happy with the progression so far, even though like this part building probably took me like 2 or 3 minutes, and this part took me like 10 minutes. Just, I don't know why, it just took me a while. So yeah, I'll do more and then I'll be back. I may even start on the ceiling just so that you guys, the whole video isn't about wall building. So I'll be back. Okay guys, so we're back. As you can see, I've done a lot of work on the ceiling and the upper areas really. The ceiling, the like technique that I used for making it was actually pretty hard to figure out, because on the lower areas, if you use the smooth tool, it just smoothens it out, sort of like going down towards the ground more. But then if you use it on the ceiling, it like, you can see it'll start making like, it won't really smooth it first of all, and then secondly, sometimes it'll just make like these really weird like pillar things coming out that'll just like cover the entire like 2 or 3 blocks, and then it'll come down for like 5 or 6 blocks. I don't know, it's really annoying and it's hard to do. So I had to refine the technique for making it quite a bit. But what I do now is I basically just stack up blocks, so with the brush tool, and then I kind of just do whatever pattern I want. And then this I didn't really have to mess with that much, because I learned if you actually like stack the blocks up really close to each other, it doesn't really look like a sphere anymore. It's more of like, I don't know, just random shapes, and it's a lot easier to work with. And it's so hard to like talk while I'm trying to type stuff in at the same time, I found out. But then you can just chisel away with it with the airbrush, which is pretty cool. And yeah, it looks pretty cool, I think. But I keep like doing that where I have to place like another set of blocks really. But yeah, it's pretty cool. So I'll do some work on it, some more work, and I don't know why those keep ending up there. But for some reason, like in the random middle part of the sky, they're just keeping these random floating spheres. And I don't know how it got there because it has to actually be against something to make a sphere, but it wasn't. So yeah, I'll just do some work. I don't know if I want to do more of like the actual coastline or make the ceiling taller and like cover more area. I think I'll make the ceiling taller, cover more of the area, so that for the part that we actually have done now, it'll be pretty much completed looking, other than like we will have to like blend the ceilings together once they like connect in the middle, obviously. But yeah, I'll be back. Okay guys, so we've reached about maximum height for what the cave is going to be about, which is about 157. Like, I'm not sure, like, when it gets to the middle, obviously there's going to be the center column, although now that I think of it, it may actually have to be bigger around to sort of look thick enough to go up to the top, because I think originally when I was, like, not planning on doing, like, an insanely epic wall and, like, you know, customly made, like, cave and everything, I think the roof was about, here. So about like 96. So if you can like assume what this looked like, it was not going to be like, this island was going to be way too big for how big the actual thing was going to be have to be proportional. Like the support going up to the ceiling would actually have to be proportional to the cave. But now that it's this high, like this is probably all the high we're going to go, and we may actually even like curve it inwards so that it's like lower around the support column, so that it actually kind of like, I don't know, I want it to look sort of like built up more than sort of like skinny, and so instead of like making the actual support column really thick, we could make it thinner and then just have it all built up around the base, and then like the base on the ceiling. I don't know, it's pretty cool, I think. But yeah, I don't think I said how I do this, but basically you just get a brush with the spheres and randomly place it everywhere. Well, you do have to place it in somewhat of the direction that you want it to go into. But then once you can do that, if there's any parts that don't, like, that look too spherish, which the cool thing is, if you actually just randomly place it everywhere, it kind of blocks out like how spherish it looks. So it kind of looks just more random. But if you don't like what it looks like, then you can just take the diamond pickaxe with the brush, and then you put brush sphere air, and then I think I have this set to like 2. Yeah, 2, and then that just, instead of placing an actual sphere, it places like an air bubble where the sphere should be. So then you can like carve out with it. It's pretty cool, actually. So yeah, that's how you do that. I'm going to work on the ceiling some more. Actually, no, probably not the ceiling. I'll like connect this part up to the ceiling, and I'll do more of the actual wall areas. And then, so maybe out to there and possibly like to there, I'm thinking. And then I'll come back, because like the more and more I actually like learn how to use this, the easier it is, obviously. So because I'm pretty much like a novice at World Edit, so I don't know, it was kind of difficult starting out, so yeah, I'll be back. Okay guys, so I finished with this section. It took forever. I was actually probably working for about 45 minutes just on this portion of it, which kind of has me worried, because if it took 45 minutes for that, and then we have the rest of the area in here, it's probably going to take like another 2 or 3 hours just to get the walls done, and then we still have the roof to do. Although, honestly, the roof is extremely easy to do. We'll turn that down. The roof is extremely easy to do because there's not really that much smoothing involved. You literally just place all the blocks. I don't know. It's a lot simpler. But then one of the cool things is that portion right there, I actually just transformed into stone, and I didn't even have to do anything on, just because it was good as it is. I'm not sure about this part because I want it to be very vertical and like sort of rigid looking, just so that maybe like less smoothing and more just being like completely flat type thing would work there, because I don't know, as it is, it's like not smooth enough. I kind of want it to be like this, possibly. Yeah, no, that's completely taking the edge off of it, though. That's the thing. So what we'll do is sphere 1, 2, and then we'll oh wait, I have a mask on. So we'll put like a sort of edge along here because I want this like one edge to be really kind of like sharp and flat. I don't know, I think that would look cool. I don't know how to really like flatten it though. Like, you can't really. Actually, that is kind of going in a downwards thing. If we do it like this, we can actually we should be able to smoothen it if we can get it smooth enough already. So like this and smooth. This is actually working pretty well. And yeah, that's I don't even know where to go with this. I'll be back, guys. Okay, guys, so I basically just went back and did this by hand, just because there was, I don't know, it was like actually too steep to do with the default like smooth tool. So, and I kind of wanted to be sort of sloped, so you couldn't just use the air command with the diamond pickaxe that I have it linked to. So I just had to do it by hand, but it's pretty much done by now. But that'll be the end of this episode because these episodes take a lot longer to make than the other episodes, and they'll also be like shorter probably and further apart because we're going to be doing more work in between, and then obviously the shorter one you can figure out. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you liked it, and until next time, bye.